All right, it's time to cut up some more of these. Try and get these 3 or 4 little logs here cut up. They're pretty good size. They're almost 18 inches across them. And so I've ripped them down the middle with a chainsaw just to get them to where I could manage them. Even at half size, they're just about all I can do to get them up. And that's a hydraulic table, so I'm going to lift it up on the end and get it up underneath there. Sometimes I have to take the box off of there and pump it up and then put it on the other one, and yeah. So there we go. Well, she's up there, and she is ready to go. We'll put her in there and resaw. There's my supervisor. She's her name is Kiwi. She's a sweet girl. She's a rough collie. Anyway, let's get on this thing. All right, got that over there. I'll crank that up to the edge of there and then just roll it off onto that table. It's just right at about this height of that. So I keep thinking I'm going to cut that 1/4-inch plywood off there, but I just haven't yet. So anyway, let's get her cranked up there and pumped up there and roll it on. All right, first thing I did when I got these tables is I took them little rollers I had off there and put some good locking brakes on there. And this thing, it just stays pretty well put. And if I was in doubt about it, I'd be putting a chalk on there. Keep that from rolling. You don't want this thing moving around on you and shifting. So anyway, I'll just move this end over and set it on the sled. After I get the log tipped over there, I bring it around and I bring the pump table back over here, and then I pump it up to support the weight. These little 1x4s, I mean, they'll hold it with the 2x4 T-track. They actually are pretty good at supporting it, but that's heavy. So I don't know what that weighs. I can't lift it. I've got to just lift one edge at a time. So we'll put it on that sled and then rip it down the middle to get it where we can manage it. All right, it's time to crank up the 200 amp deal. I've got it running on 40 amp. And if I really want to go fast, I can go 200 amp, but I don't need to go that fast. And this is 40 amp 12 volt. This is 40 amp 6 volt. So if I need to really slow it down, the rheostat's pretty well taking care of that. So we're there, and we probably got enough clearance to get that down and cut it. This edge right here, it's just going to ride. So I'll probably raise that up just a hair and let her rip. Okay, turn on the old bandsaw blade. There we are there. Put the sled on and turn it down. It's probably the biggest log I've cut on this thing. Let's turn it down a little bit. That's a lot of oak. And turn on the dust collector. Fence outside. And again, that's a lot of oak going through there. And probably the biggest log I've run through the thing. There's my controls. Shut off automatically when I hit the end of it, or I can just do this and turn it off here, shut my speed off, go in there and take that off to the side and put it up over here and get it out of there until I get ready to mill that part of it. So I've just reduced that by probably about halfway, which I can manage that. All right, set that behemoth over there. That's almost the size of a log, but not quite. And of course that bark is what really builds it. I'll rotate that one time and then slide against the fence and do a return on it. What's nice about this is I can just turn that like that, increase the speed, workout of the day, I like to check everything out. Make sure that it's looking good. And I think it's doing just fine. Get that, flip that over one time, then cut it. If that log's heavy enough, I don't even really need to put a screw on it. Generally, the only time I put screws on it is when I'm getting dimension lumber. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull back just a little bit. And there we go. I didn't even put any screws in that one. Pretty stable. Steady enough where it's not going to move around. And you can hear it. Here sometimes I'll get into where it starts making a little bit of a noise. That's generally a really hard spot. Kind of interesting. There's always some fun in these things. We're really in a hurry. You reach over here and turn this down to 200 amps. Come over here. That's moving pretty fast. Okay, now we can start cutting some logs off that if we wanted to. Let's cut that piece off so our logs will be straighter. Alright, what I'm doing there is cleaning that up. I told my wife it's like the back end of a mule. You don't want to get too close to it. You never know when something's going to go wampus on you. And watching my blade cut. Alright, now this little guy here is the first cut off, and you know, there's not much there. I mean, there's some there, but by the time you get done warping on it, it's not going to do you much good. But there you have a nice looking cant. You know, it's pretty good size. It's, you know, I would say it's almost not quite 6 inches, 6.5 inches maybe. And we'll start cutting that off and cutting in some 1-inch boards. All right, out of that one log, that one little wedge that we had, that's the gist of it. And I ended up cutting it a little bit too clean. I got some offcuts that I had to clean up, so I spent more time on it than I need to. I was trying to save wood. So anyway, that happens. And there's my slag pile from all my cutoffs. And there's my pile. So there I go. I'm going to make a slack adjuster for that little guy right there so that I can adjust the slack out of it. All right, there's 2.5 logs, and now I'm going to have to start sharpening the old bit. So let's get this unloaded. All right, that's six logs. One of them's a maple, just 4 foot long log, and these are all 4 foot. I've got a couple little remnants in there that were just some, you know, maybe 26-inch logs or so, and so they're in there as well. So there's a few voids, but not very many. Anyway, that's the equivalency of probably about 5 hours of resawing, and my blade is now dull. It's a carbide reinforced blade, and It cut really nice at first, but so did the steel cheapies. Anyway, I could have had 4 new blades for the price. Well, not 4, 3. I could have had 3 new steel blades for the price of this one. And I don't know if I'll be able to sharpen it or not. We'll get a ceramic stone out and see if we can sharpen it and see what we can do there. Alright, did a real quick sharpening. It took me about 7 or 8 minutes, and used some these Oregon blade sharpeners on it, and the Dremel went around it, chucked it in right there at the bandsaw, did about 6 inches and moved it down, put a piece of tape around where the weld's at until it made its full loop. And all my blades are nice and sharp, and they're pretty sticky, so they'll get that's what you want, I guess. Anyway, so we'll see how this does now.